Just us. Just us.
Welcome to another jump shot episode of the Just Us Golden State Warriors podcast. I am your host, Mohsen, and I am on my own today. If you listen to the last episode, you'll know that Shazia is on a business trip. So for the next couple games, it's going to be just me. And I'm trying something different to speed kind of production up and experiment with the format a bit. I'm actually recording at halftime. The score is currently 61-65 to the Warriors. Very strong start from the crew. Starters were Steph, Draymond, Podz, Jimmy, and Kuminga. Podz immediately shot a free and it went in, which must have felt good. He started to get back into the form that we know he can play at and the form that he knows he can play at too. There's been a lot of complaining about Podz online within the fan base, which has been warranted up until this point and likely will continue for a little while. But he's starting to get warm. He's starting to sink some threes. He's starting to make some good passes. And Steve stuck with him and it seems to have paid off. The big bright spots of the game so far is there's a lot of screens being set successfully. The pace of the game is very, very, very quick. It's an up and down game. The Grizzlies love to get into transition as quickly as possible and see if they can score a bucket on the other side after defending. And the Warriors seem to be matching it currently, which is good. It's just a matter of who gets tired first. Obviously, conventional thinking would say that it's us since we have an older team, but the young guns have been out on the court quite a bit and seem to be holding their own. Kuminga's been another bright spot. He is continuing his excellent form. He's rebounding like a demon. He's jumping so high that I'm like, he's going to hurt himself at some point. But he is a rebounding machine currently. He's shot a couple threes and made them, and he's doing some really smart passes, playing a little slower when he needs to, but when there is a gap in the defense, he's turning on the engines and doing that thing that we know Kuminga can do by forcing his way there. The overall energy from the team is night and day compared to the Portland game, which makes sense given that the Portland game was a back-to-back and this is the first of another back-to-back, but they have fresh legs and you can see it in the way they're moving. There's been a good synergy between Draymond and Kuminga. There were a few shots where they seemed to have a good connection and made some looks happen. QP has been a bit tricky. He came on, since we're not playing Al Horford this game, he will be playing tomorrow. Steve has been putting on TJD and QP has continued being very foul prone. He's got a few fouls. His ability to protect the ring isn't as reliable as we need, and the same goes for TJD. TJD was missing his layups again. Some of them have been very, very awkward, so I can understand it from that perspective, but it's not looking good for him given that his last few games he's been having difficulty getting that ball through the net. And Memphis is getting a lot of whistles. We are using the best of Jimmy to get to the line as well, but Memphis is clearly in the lead with the amount of whistles they've got. The turnovers started off fairly conservatively, but they're starting to pile up. That was largely in the first quarter. Second quarter, QP came into his own a bit. A couple of block shots and a few rebounds, and that's where Jimmy started to really force his will onto the game. They got into the bonus, and that meant Jimmy could continue his coming up underarms and pushing to the rim and getting fouled and then getting to the line. This is the first game that Moody and Kuminga have played together, and while there hasn't been anything specific of note that is worth getting excited about, they're not clashing, which is good. Kuminga and Moody they serve different purposes. Moody has sunk a three or two and is defending very, very well, whereas Kuminga is doing a lot more of the rebounding and playmaking, which is a good place to be in, I think. The second unit has been a bit rough with TJD, QP. GP2's been decent. I think that if it wasn't Jimmy being part of them, they would be a little more ramshackle. Buddy's not making any threes. We're in the Buddy heel cycle, but as he has done previously, he's not making threes, so he's trying to make his presence meaningful in other ways. He's been driving a lot more and working hard to get rebounds, which is good. Memphis are going to the line a lot, as I mentioned earlier, and it's starting to be a bit sketchy. At one point, Draymond needed a break, so Steve Kerr chucked on ski Santos, and he sunk a three immediately. And then on the other side of the court, just a very brazen steal coming up behind, I believe it was KCP, and just pickpocketing him. Got it back to the other side, didn't convert it into a basket, but unfortunately, but it was a very, very ballsy move from Guy Santos there. Similarly, Will Richard picking pockets. He snatched the ball away from John Morant, and has been very, very making his presence very felt in the defending side. Kuminga is also implementing some of the stuff he's clearly learned from Jimmy. You never see him much coming up into the arms, and he's been doing that way more. Kind of people are talking about how he looks like James Harden currently. He got KCP with that one, which KCP wandered over to Kerr and had a little chat with him, and even Steve Kerr was like, "Yeah, you got mate." Yeah, like I said, very fast game so far. Encouraging start. We haven't managed to get separation from the Grizzlies yet. I'm hoping that comes in the third or the fourth quarter. I'm now hoping that the second unit, TJD and QP specifically, start to plant their feet and get better performance out of them. But we'll see how that goes. Still praying for a win, and I will see you very soon after the second half of the game. All right, that second half was much better than the first. The third quarter was a bit choppy, very up and down again, but it was where the team started to build a bunch of momentum, and before you know it, that separation that we weren't able to get in the first half came. A lot of really good synergy moments. Moses Moody and Kuminga were vibing really, really well, seeing each other across the court and making plays that free each other up and provide a lot of opportunities. Moses was sinking a bunch of threes, continued. Kuminga doing some dunks finally. With a little bit of separation, he started to have fun with it, and you could tell he was laughing and smiling. A lot of rest minutes for Steph, which is good considering they have the Clippers tomorrow. Same goes for Jimmy. Draymond unfortunately fouled out. It was unlucky. He kind of jumped in the air. I think it was against Aldama to go for a block from behind, and on his way down twisting, he kind of put his hand on Aldama's neck, and it looked like he dragged him to the floor, but from another angle you could see that he was trying to cushion the fall. But it was the actual touching of the neck that was the reason they upgraded to a flagrant foul. And he was cool. He jumped off the court and went to the bike and stayed warm doing that, do a little bit of extra cardio. The Grizzlies coach was very, very upset during that and got a tech, and I think Draymond also got a tech, so they cancelled each other out. It wasn't the good thing about this game was it wasn't a Jimmy and Steph and Draymond only game. The others really stepped up and showed that they could hold it down when the superstars aren't on the court. And in fact, they did some good work in extending the lead and providing more of a comfortable cushion for folks like Guy Santos to come on and have some fun. I think my favorite moment of the game was the very last few seconds where it was clear that no major plays are going to be made again. The Warriors are going to win. The Grizzlies are going to lose. And Steve put Pat Spencer on. And then from the other side, you could see Cam Spencer get up. So they both came on the court at the same time. And with the last few seconds, both teams just wordlessly agreed to step out of the way. And Pat and Cam squared up. Steph came running from the sidelines and like waving his towel to kind of get hype. And they went one-on-one. Pat kind of backed into Cam, created some space and went for a three, which was contested. Didn't make the three, but it was a very, very fun moment that everyone seemed to enjoy. It was a nice little way to finish off a game that in all ways was a very, very feel-good bounce-back kind of game. I don't remember watching a game recently where I wasn't incredibly stressed. So this was a good game for both my mental health and I imagine the Warriors, the team's mental health. Tomorrow is going to be the big one, the Clippers. Let's see how we do against them. Traditionally, not very well, but the team is riding a high. The vibes were good on the bench. Everyone was laughing. They will be bringing back Kawhi for it, so the claw is going to be on the court. But let's see how we do. If we can get a win there, we're in very good shape to, as Steve Kerr likes to say, win the week. So I will see you again tomorrow. Again, it's going to be me only, but hopefully this is entertaining enough for you. Just us on 3. 1, 2, 3. Just us. Just me on my own.